reception. Over the middle. Touchdown, Giants.
This team literally defied all the odds stacked against them. One Pro Bowler plus 3,000 odds to win the Super Bowl, a wildcard team. New York and the rest of the NFL, for that matter, had never seen a team like the 2007 Giants. This team was the perfect Cinderella story. 7 of their 10 regular season wins were against teams with a below 500 record. How did a team like this defeat the perfect 18-0 Patriots? Well, to answer that question, we have to start in the 2006 season. In that season, the Giants would start off 6-2. Despite this great start, the team would finish with a record of 8-8, sneaking into the playoffs. The Giants would lose to the Eagles in the wild card game. After the season, many critics were insisting that the New York Giants quarterback, Eli Manning, was a draft bust. Fans were calling for Giants head coach Tom Coughlin's job. Coughlin had an old-school coaching style. He was hard on his players and had strict team rules. Ultimately, both players had one last chance to prove themselves in the 2007 season. Let's get into the 2007 season, where the Giants would have some bad news. Their star running back, Tiki Barber, would retire at just 31 years old, coming off a 1,662 rushing yards campaign. To make things even worse, Hall of Fame defensive end Michael Strahan was thinking about retiring. He held out at training camp as he was making his decision. Michael Strahan would ultimately decide to play one final season. This New York Giants team didn't have much expectations coming into this 2007 season. Starting off 0-2, losing to the Cowboys and the Packers, expectations dropped even lower. Heading into a Week 3 matchup versus the Redskins, the Giants knew this was a must-win game to get their season back on track. The Giants would trail 17-3 at the half, with hope looking lost for the season, but the G-Men would score 21 unanswered points to win the game 24-17. Despite the poor start, the Giants would never quit, winning 6 straight games. In Week 10, the Cowboys would beat the Giants again. By season's end, the Giants would hold a 10-6 record as a 5 seed and a wild card berth. Week 17 would showcase a Super Bowl preview. Although no one knew at the time, the Giants would take on the 15-0 Patriots at home. What better test the Giants have than this? Despite the Giants clinching a playoff berth, Tom Coughlin made a controversial decision to play all their starters, including players playing through injury. This game was being broadcast on 3 national networks. Everyone wanted to see if the Giants could compete with a perfect 16-0 regular season. The Giants would lead this game 28-16 in the third quarter. Unfortunately for the Giants, the Patriots would go on to score 22 unanswered points and would win 38-35. Despite the loss, this game gave the Giants confidence heading into the postseason. Eli Manning would throw for 4 touchdowns in this game. An interesting thing to take note of, this Giants team went 7-1 on the road, which was important as their playoff games were going to be on the road. Their first test would be in Tampa Bay, taking on the John Gruden coach team. Of course, the Giants were underdogs in this game. All 4 of these analysts chose Tampa to win. To start the game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would take a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. By the end of the first quarter, the Giants had only gained -2 yards on offense. Brandon Jacobs would then both catch a pass and run one in on the ground to take a 14-7 lead in the second quarter. After another field goal to make it 17-7 in the third quarter, the Buccaneers never got close. The Giants would win 24-14 at the end. This would be Eli Manning's first career playoff win and Tom Coughlin's first playoff win as the Giants head coach. The Giants' next game would come in Jerry's world. No one gave the Giants a chance in this game. Every analyst just wrote them off, just like they did last round. Considering the Cowboys had swept the Giants in the regular season, can you really blame them? The Cowboys owner Jerry Jones had even bought 2 tickets to the NFC Championship game for each player on his team. This would fuel the Giants in this game. To start things early in the first quarter, Eli Manning would complete a pass to Amani Toomer, which he would run all the way for a 52-yard touchdown. The Cowboys weren't going out without a fight. After all, they were the #1 seed in the NFC. They would answer with 2 touchdowns, one caught by Terrell Owens, and Marlon Barber would run one in. This would make the game 14-7. With little time left in the second half, Eli Manning would muster a great drive, throwing a touchdown to Amani Toomer once again. They just merely got it off, scoring with just 7 seconds left in the half. To start the second half, the Cowboys would kick a field goal to make the game 17-14. At the start of the fourth quarter, Brandon Jacobs would punch in a touchdown to give the Giants a 21-17 lead. The Giants' defense would make it difficult on Dallas. The Cowboys would have a chance with 15 seconds left in the red zone. Tony Romo would seal the game-winning interception, giving the Giants the win. This punched the Giants' ticket in for the NFC Championship game. Despite 2 road wins, every analyst would pick the Packers to win the game comfortably. Going up to Lambeau Field to beat Brett Favre's number 2 seeded team is no easy task. To make matters worse, this would be the 3rd coldest game in NFL history. The Giants came into this game with confidence. After 2 giant wins, the Giants would score the first points of the night, kicking 2 field goals to make it 6-0 early in the second quarter. Brett Favre would respond with a 90-yard touchdown pass to Donald Driver. This would make the game 7-6 Packers. The Packers would get a field goal to make it 10-6 at half. Going into halftime, down 4 wasn't something the Giants feared. They would strike back quick in the third quarter. Brandon Jacobs would run a touchdown in to make it 13-10 Giants. Unfortunately for the Giants, Brett Favre wasn't going out without a fight. He would throw a 12-yard touchdown pass to Donald Lee to take the lead once again at 17-13. Once again, the Giants would answer quickly. Eli Manning would hand the ball off to Ahmad Bradshaw for a touchdown to make it 20-17. Heading into the fourth quarter, the Packers are down 3 and would take a field goal to tie the game. There would be no more opportunities for points until 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Lawrence Tynes, the Giants kicker, would have a chance to send the Giants to the Super Bowl. He would miss the field goal and the game would go to overtime. A coin toss would determine who starts with the ball in overtime. The Packers would win the coin toss and elect to receive the ball. Surely, the legendary Brett Favre will lead his team to victory. On his first pass of overtime, Brett Favre would throw a pick to Corey Webster. Lawrence Tynes would get another chance to win the game. He hits the field goal and the Giants are going to the Super Bowl. Of course, the Giants were confident going into the Super Bowl, but the team they were playing was arguably the greatest team of all time. The New England Patriots were unbeaten the whole season. They had a total of 9 All-Pro players. The Giants didn't even have one. For all those reasons, the Giants were being written off once again. Tom Brady broke a record throwing for 50 touchdowns that year. His number 1 receiver was Randy Moss, who broke a record that still stands to this day: 23 touchdown receptions in one season. Heading into the Super Bowl, the Patriots were favored by 12 points. All they had to do is beat the Giants to cement themselves as the greatest team of all time. The Giants would put up the first points of the game, kicking a field goal to take an early 3-0 lead. The Patriots would answer the following drive with a touchdown of their own to take a 7-3 lead. The next drive, Eli Manning would throw a ball that hit his target in the hands. Unfortunately, the ball would be tipped into the air and intercepted by Ellis Hobbs. The game would be at a stalemate for the rest of the first half. Tom Brady would try to get a score before half. Unfortunately for Tom, he would be strip-sacked with 18 seconds left in the half. The best offense in football that year has only managed to score 7 first-half points. The Giants' defensive line, led by the legendary Michael Strahan, was making it real tough on Brady. The next score of this game wouldn't come until the fourth quarter. Eli Manning would throw a touchdown pass to David Tyree, take a 10-7 lead. Just wait for it. David Tyree is going to make another play this game. The Patriots wouldn't score another touchdown until just under 3 minutes left in the game. Tom Brady would throw a touchdown pass to who else than Randy Moss. The Patriots are now up 14-10 with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game. Eli Manning now has to try to answer Tom Brady. He needs a touchdown, not a field goal. On 2nd and 5, Eli Manning almost threw the game. He would throw a pass to Patriots defender Asante Samuel, who would drop the easiest interception of his career. A huge 3rd and 5 is coming up for the Giants. Eli Manning was being dragged by Patriots defensive linemen and would miraculously get out of the pile and throw a pass, famously known as the helmet catch. That incredible catch would put the Giants in prime position to score a touchdown. On 1st and 10 with 39 seconds left in the game, Giants wide receiver Plaxico Burress would run a fade route and completely beat the cornerback. Eli Manning would throw the ball up to Burress for the touchdown to give the Giants the lead, 17-14. On 3rd and 20, Tom Brady would throw deep 75 yards to Randy Moss. That was almost completed. Fortunately for the Giants, that wasn't completed. The Giants would win the Super Bowl and Eli Manning would be named Super Bowl MVP. This game still lives on to this day, ruining the Patriots' perfect season. The Giants team had an incredible run that may never be seen again.